Chapter 106. Flash. A light flashed in the dark sky of the upper yard as the silhouette of a tall man appeared. Ow! So I was late. Kizaru, the Marine Admiral in a yellow suit, gazed down after teleporting in the air. On the ground, there were 5 people, but only 3 of them were looking at him. The other 2, the 2 world nobles, were busy licking the boots of the other 3. Ooh. Ignoring the nobles, Kizaru glanced at the other 3 people. A girl with blue hair, a male with black hair, and another female with long black hair reaching her waist tied in a ponytail. Instantly, Kizaru noticed the girl with a ponytail looking at him with a serious face. Before the Admiral could think of anything else, the girl jumped towards him with her hands which were holding 2 swords. Kizaru made a bored face looking at her sluggish jump, even though, in reality, Raki was moving around 120 km/h. Looking at Raki's sword coming towards his neck, Kizaru opened his lips lightly. Would you like to experience a kick at the speed of light? Although he seemingly asked a question, he didn't wait for an answer. Kizaru moved his legs. His legs had already started glowing by then, going towards Reiki's face. Oh shit! Reiki's eyes widened as she realized she was too slow. Bam! His legs hit something, but that something sure wasn't Reiki. Zzz! The man who was on the ground just now was between Raki and Kizaru, blocking Kizaru's kick with his wings. The man, Amon, was blocking Kizaru's attack with his wing. Speed of light? Pfft! Should I laugh? Amon stared at Kizaru's surprised eyes. Blinking twice, Kizaru formed a smile. Interesting. Meanwhile, in the Golden City where the war had ended, and the automata were busy helping the injured, a certain albatross man was taking pictures of everything. Click, click. The sounds of the camera clicking were overlapping the chirping of people all around him. Nobody stopped him, surprisingly. Just a while ago, he got permission from Nico Robin to perform his act here. Enthusiastically, he was taking pictures. Tomorrow there will be news, big news, written by none other than Big News Morgan. Huff! Suddenly, the albatross. Morgan noticed someone running from inside the forest. She had the Princess of Alabaster in her hands. Bitch, only because brother said to retreat and keep you safe, the girl said while roughly pulling Vivi by her collar, pulling her through the ground. Be grateful. Behind her, 2 celestial dragons were following them, while crawling like dogs. Amon Pov. I was floating in the air. My hand was holding my sword. Meanwhile, my wings were blocking Kizaru's kick. Kizaru didn't mind it and took back his leg. We exchanged a few more blows after I sent Raki back. That was quite interesting. It was then, though I don't really like dark places, let's lighten this up, shall we? Kizaru snapped his fingers as countless beams of light came out of his body and went towards the sky. Suddenly, the dark sky started to clear up, and the sunlight started to fall on the glittering grass on the ground. While I glanced at the beautiful scenery below, Kizaru called. I assume you are Lucifer. Even a bored admiral such as Kizaru recognized me, the winged man who was considered angel by some and devil by the others. These 4 years, my name was rarely written in the newspaper, but my organization did have countless mentions now and then. But I'm sure that didn't interest Kizaru. Kizaru stayed silent, but I could sense he was simulating my movement from a second ago. There was a reason why he knew about me, and it's not merely because of my fame. It's because of the rumor among the higher-ranking Marines. Lucifer has eaten the Gorogoro no Mi. As for why I know about this, that's for a later day. Kizaru moved his lips. I see that the suspicion was true. Not only that, you were a Skypiean all along, but the wings are still something to look up for. I chuckled hearing him. People in my previous world used to call Kizaru unworthy to have his fruit because they said he isn't quick-witted. Now would you look at this? I decided to mock the WG for a moment. Oh, the government found out after so long. They are quite disappointing, unlike their reputed informant, Cypher Pol. Kizaru didn't respond and moved from his spot. Tsk, don't talk in a battle. I would like to see how fast the Gorogoro no Mi user actually is. His legs rushed towards my chest. This time they weren't glowing. Zzz. I streamed electricity through my brain and boosted my thinking speed. In the slowed-down world, I stared at Kizaru's leg. It was very fast compared to the normal movements in this slowed-down world. However, it's slow. There is no way this is the speed of light. Not even close. General Pov. Morgan looked at the celestial dragons with wide eyes. They are crawling. In his life, he never thought he would see this day. His eyes teared up as he felt his heart throb faster. This is going to the big news as well. He quickly started to take pictures. Just behind him, on the wall of a destroyed building, an eye was open, looking at Morgan. The owner of the eye, Robin, smirked, seeing this. As Lucy had wanted, things are moving smoothly. But there was another fact. I'm still a little scared. It's my trauma after all. Robin then noticed Raki, who was roughly pulling Vivi. A small smile bloomed on her face seeing Raki. She has grown as well, only physically. Amon Pov. Why wasn't Kizaru's kick as fast as they should have? There are 3 answers to this. 1. Kizaru isn't actually as fast as light. He's lying. 2. Kizaru is as fast as light, but the light in One Piece world is actually slow. 3. Kizaru's body stops himself from achieving the speed. He can only reach light speed, or at least around it, after he goes through elemental transformation. The number 1 is a fact. Kizaru isn't as fast as light. If he was, a light speed kick would have destroyed the world, literally. The number 2 is something highly unlikely, because if Oda tried to balance things this way, my Goro Goro's speed would have been slowed down as well. The number 3 is the most possible answer, as I myself also suffer through it. I can't use lightning speed without transforming, at least not at full capacity. So in conclusion, Kizaru isn't as fast as light, but even if he is, he needs to transform into his element to achieve that feat, since to move that fast, he needs to be completely massless. In his human form, he definitely has mass, since his kick had force behind it. So if I consider my own case without transforming, he's using the fruit's base speed. My base speed is speed of sound, 0.343 km/s. Let's talk about me. To surpass my base, I need to transform, or at least partially transform by flowing extreme electricity through my body. Kizaru's case should be the same, since every time he used his light speed kick, his legs started to glow. So, if my base is 0.343 km/s, what is Kizaru's? I dodged another of Kizaru's attacks. I barely dodged this one. Woo! As I have guessed, you are fast. I should get serious. Of course, he wasn't serious. And here I was using my base's top speed, thus proves his base is faster than mine. It's because light is 3 times faster than lightning. It's a fact even in this world, so Kizaru's base should be 1.029 km/s. This would make sense why Rayleigh was able to match his speed. After all, I refuse to believe even a monster like Rayleigh is as fast as light. I was brought out of my thoughts by a blinding light. Would you like a kick at the speed of light? Kizaru said as his legs started to glow. I wondered how fast his legs would be this time. Zzz. To analyze, I streamed electricity through my brain. I could think at a speed that far surpassed the sound barrier, which is enough to make Kizaru's kick seem sluggish. Indeed, by making his leg glow, meaning by making his legs partially transform, he reaches a speed that is very fast. But even that very fast is slower than full lightning speed. Slow. Though I thought that, the kick did hit me in the jaws, making me fly upwards. Zzz! As I started to fly up, I teleported 16 kilometers away, then repeated that action, thus teleporting me 32 kilometers away from my initial position. Kizaru will take a while to reach me, since there are some clouds covering his way. His teleportation isn't as fast and versatile as mine, after all. He needs an open area to teleport, meaning he can't teleport to the other side of a wall. I ignored the stray thoughts. I then took out a ball of gold from my bag, then threw my sword and bag in the solid island cloud far below. Zzz. This time, I didn't flow electricity through my body. Rather, I transformed into a bolt of lightning. After transforming, I started to manipulate the bolt to take the form of a 150 centimeter young man. In this form, I'm not only as fast as lightning, I'm flexible as well. Now the gold ball, this should be enough, right? Mo. General Pov. Above the white sea and a few chunks of clouds that were floating freely in the open sky, something bright was floating. Far above a large cloud, a bolt of lightning in the form of a young man was standing. Meanwhile, both of his fists were wearing knuckle dusters made of gold. But the dusters were roughly made, as if it had just melted after heating up, and in that short time, the young man had worn it. The next second, a man in a yellow suit, Kizaru, flew towards the young man Amon at an astonishing speed. For a second, Kizaru was surprised seeing Amon like that, but he nonetheless kicked towards him at full speed. I should get serious. This time, Kizaru's whole leg started to glow. This is a kick at 110 speed of light, my highest speed without fully transforming. It far surpassed the 1.029 km kick that I landed on him last time. Kizaru thought this at an astonishing speed. Although he can't think light fast, his fruit does give him a boost at thinking. Whoosh! The kick went towards Amon's face. However, zisht! He dodged it by moving to the side. By moving at the speed of lightning, 100,000 km/s. Slug! Kizaru's eyes grew up instantly. Just now, he couldn't follow his movements. This form heightens my instincts and boosts them to an unimaginable level. Not only that, there is an invisible circular dome of electricity surrounding my body, 10 meters around it to be precise. The moment something enters this dome, Amon's body will dodge it involuntarily. This was literally ultra instinct. However, that wasn't enough. After all, Amon won't be satisfied with just dodging. While Kizaru tried to attack Amon again and again, sweats formed on his forehead. He kicked at Amon's chest, punched at Amon's rib, shot beams of light at his head, but none of them hit him. This was speed, sheer speed that Kizaru wasn't able to follow. His brain wasn't fast, since he can't let electricity flow through it. There was a way. He would be faster than Amon if he uses elemental transformation, but then Amon didn't let Kizaru think further as he moved behind his back and swung his arm backward. He moved his arms very slowly, but to Kizaru, it was very fast. The knuckle duster started to glow blue, but the glowing stopped as Amon covered it with haki. Amon curled up his lips upwards. He grinned. 700 million volts, railgun. Amon's fist just went through Kizaru's body, as if he was made of tofu. The golden duster just turned into dust, and the dust started to collide with each other at molecular level. Each dust started to release a blinding light, as if an explosion would occur. Kizaru stared at his chest with wide eyes for a while, as his body started to glow yellow. He was doing his elemental transformation, but before he could do so, Amon moved his lips. B-O-O-M! An explosion at the level of a nuclear bomb occurred, engulfing the whole sky. This was the power of railgun. Luckily, it happened kilometers above the upper yard.